And aloha, welcome back once again, interdimensional, intergalactic, interplanetary friends. This is Wolf, aka Brendan, Mystic Spider-Man, Skull Babylon, welcoming you back for some more live tarot readings with Wolf. Thank you so much again, everyone, for being here, for joining in, for adding your support. For those of you who are watching this in the future as well, be sure to like this video on YouTube so that more people can synchronistically discover it and be a part of the inspiration that it is that we're sharing here together. So for those of you tuned in on Instagram, go ahead and click the link in my bio to be able to jump over to YouTube, and I'm going to share this broadcast in the 1111 movement group, and then from there we'll get right into our first reading as soon as possible. Hey Tony, thanks for joining in. All right, stand by everyone. Starting broadcast in the 1111 movement group, and again, we'll keep an eye on all the chats, and away we go. Thank you again. Aloha and welcome to those of you tuning into this broadcast from the 1111 movement group. Thank you so much for joining in. My name is Wolf and you're tuned into some live tarot readings with Wolf, and we are just getting things all set up and started. If you're here, if you're in the chat, and if it's your first time here, go ahead and drop a 222 in the comments. I'll go over a bit of an introduction in terms of how we do things within these broadcasts, what to be able to expect, and thank you again everyone for being here. So go ahead and share this broadcast. Excuse me. Share this broadcast with your friends if you haven't already yet. Drop a 222 in the chats if it's your first time here. And thank you again, everyone, for just hanging out and for being a part of what it is that we are creating together. So we'll just take an extra couple moments here to invite people to just share this broadcast. If you're watching this in the 1111 movement group, you can't share from within the group, but what you can do is click on my profile and then share it from my personal page. So I know that's a little bit of an extra step and I appreciate you doing it, but again, in doing that, it definitely helps more people tune in. So with that said, we're going to get right into our first reading in the next moment. I'm going to give you some basic overview and instructions in terms of how we do the regular readings here with live tarot readings with Wolf. So again, my name is Wolf. Thank you so much for joining in. If this is your first time, let this just be a chance to just like get to know each other, to develop a relationship, to be able to say hi, and for you to get to experience a little bit of what it is that I'm doing here within the community. So the way how we do these tarot readings, first of all, I'll explain to you that the way how I do them, this isn't like a fortune telling, this isn't like a psychic reading. The way how we do it is a way where we put out the intention to the universe to show us what we need to see. And then through that intention, we work with the cards to be able to receive a message for the cards and for us to work as a conduit. And that message is created and delivered with the intention to be able to assist, inspire, and create clarity and insight for us on our path as light workers, light guardians, as shifters, as people who are here to intentionally help assist with the shift in consciousness. So if you're tuned into this broadcast, welcome to the team, welcome to the tribe, welcome to this incredible experience that we're creating here together. So shout out to some of our Patreon supporters who are already tuned in. Shout out to Paul Boggy. Thank you, Paul, for joining in on the YouTube chat. Thank you again to those of you who may be here for the first time on the Facebook. Again, if you haven't already yet, share this broadcast with your friends. We're going to be broadcasting for about 2 hours, or about probably a little bit under 2 hours. So we'll get in as many readings as we can. So for those of you who are interested in reading, this is how we do this. Basically, we do one reading for someone out of the chat, and I'm going to give you instructions on how to be able to take part in that. But when we do the readings, they're also like collective readings. So even if you don't get chosen for the reading, we do it with the intention of show us what we need to see. And so it becomes a collective reading. So if you are tuned in, stay tuned in, because there is a message here for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to give you some basic instructions. Step 1, share this broadcast if you haven't already yet. If you're in the 1111 movement group, go to my profile and share it from my profile. Step 2, I'm going to give you a number and you're going to type this number into the chat. The 8th person who enters this number into the chat will be the first person that we do our first reading for. But again, it's like a collective reading, right? And then the next reading that we do will be for people as they sign up to support on my Patreon. And Patreon, I'll explain a little bit about it as we go, but Patreon is a website where people can support artists with monthly contributions and to get really sweet rewards and value in return. So for those of you who this might be like the first time getting to know me, allow this to just be a chance for me to be able to introduce myself, for me to be able to share a little bit about what I do within the community. Long story short, my name's Brendan. I'm a full-time conscious media creator. I'm the director for a community project known as Paradigm Shift Central. We're building a real-world team of conscious superheroes. We've been doing this for 10 years, and it's a team of conscious creators and leaders. And when people support on the Patreon, they can get additional value within our community, such as joining as a leading member, such as being able to receive one of the absolutely beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals that I hand make. And you can also get access to me for private coaching and other discounts and rewards. So again, the first reading we do will be for someone right out of the chat. The additional readings that we do will be for people as they sign up for the Patreon. And again, when we do it, it's like a collective reading as well. So our objective for this broadcast is to get 2 Patreon signups during this broadcast. But with that said, let's get right into our first reading. And again, if this is your first time here, allow this to just be a chance for you to like get to know who I am. Check out my Patreon when you get a chance, and you can see some of the awesome videos that I do, full-length movies, guided meditations, free hugs videos, lots of really cool stuff that you can check out. And again, you're invited to be a part of the team that we are building. So the Patreon, you can sign up at the $5 level just for reading, or the $11 level and higher. And I do also offer higher end coaching. But again, if this is your first time here, just no pressure. Allow this to just be a chance for you to be able to like experience the value and the vibes that we're putting out. So thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for being here. All right, let's get right into our first reading. So here are your instructions if you just joined. Share this broadcast with your friends. I'm going to give you a number. Be the 8th person who entered this number into the chat. We have multiple chats. We have 2 Facebooks and a YouTube and Twitch. So the 8th person across all those chats who enters it in will be the first person we do the reading for. So with that said, don't enter the number right away. Listen to your intuition and don't enter it in more than once. Here's the number that I'm going to give you if you want to be eligible for like the first reading. The first number I'm going to give you is the number 777. So take a breath. Allow yourself to just kind of listen to your intuition. And then when you're ready, type 777 into the chat. And then the 8th person who enters that number into the chat will be the first person that we do a reading for. And then again, the additional readings will be for people as they sign up for the Patreon, and you can see the link for the Patreon on screen, so you can literally open that up in another window. But again, if this is your first time here, allow me to just kind of like demonstrate to you who I am, what I do, and then you can decide to sign up for the Patreon if you feel like it's something you resonate with. All right, thank you again for everyone for sharing, for leaving your comments. All right, here come the 777s. Let me focus. Okay, so the first person that we are going to do a reading for today is going to be for Rosa Fratellone. Thank you so much, Rosa, for being here. And again, for everyone, if you've already entered in the 777, thank you again. Just bonus shout outs to you. And again, the way how we do the readings here, it's like a collective reading. So even if you weren't chosen, stick around because there's still a message here for you. So we're going to get right into the first reading. So Rosa, congratulations. But for everybody here, congratulations. Thank you for holding space. Allow me to demonstrate a little bit of what it is that we're doing here, and stick around, share this broadcast with your friends, and yeah, let's get right into it. Rosa, let me know if you are ready, and we will get right into the first reading. And again, the first reading we'll do will be for Rosa, and the additional readings we'll do will be for people as they sign up for the Patreon. And again, there's a lot of really awesome rewards and value through the Patreon. So if you want to check that out while we're doing the first reading, please go ahead and do that. And when people sign up for the Patreon, they can also get the choice between choosing the Ananda Tarot deck or the Lightworker Oracle deck. And again, when you're signing up to the Patreon, don't just sign up just for a reading. Sign up because you resonate with the work that I'm doing and the value that I'm creating within the community and like the team that we're building, and because you want to be a part of it. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go, but for now, let's just focus on this first reading. So Rosa is ready. So for everybody here, Rosa, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to be able to invite us to kind of like drop into our heart space. And John, just to confirm, John's just saying like, that was the 7th person you picked, not the 8th, LOL. John, it was actually the 8th because there's multiple chats. So there was another person in another chat who entered it. So it was like the 7th in the 1111 movement group, but the 8th in total, just to confirm. But thank you, John, for being aware of that. I understand. All right. So the way how we're going to do this, Rosa, for everybody here, I'm going to invite you to just be able to drop into your heart space. We're going to focus on gratitude. And then from there, we're going to put forth the intention of show me what I need to see, or show us what we need to see. And then I'm going to tell you when you're ready to type now into the chat, and that's when we'll pull the card. So I'll walk you through it. So don't type now yet. Allow me to just kind of walk you through it, and we'll just kind of get into that space together. So for everybody here, I invite you to just be able to join in and add your energy and hold space here together. So again, thank you everyone for being here. Check out my Patreon when you get a chance. There's my social media links, and let's just focus in on this first reading. And yeah, let's have some fun. Let's see what message the universe has. Rosa, for everybody here, just inviting you to close your eyes. Let's just shift it a bit and just bring our awareness to our heart. And for everybody here, just inviting you to just take a couple breaths and gentle exhales. And maybe these are the first meaningful, mindful breaths that you have taken today. So as you give this gift of yourself to this present moment, allow yourself to just bring yourself into the space of gratitude. So for Rosa, for everybody here, I want you to just begin to focus on this gratitude of being in a space of like-minded and like-hearted individuals. People who are passionate about helping change the world. Light workers, light guardians, shifters. People who are shifting the paradigms with creativity and compassion. So as you're in this space of gratitude, Rosa, for everybody here, Rosa, I invite you to focus your intention on the message of show me what I need to see. You can also focus your intention on show us what we need to see, us being the community, the team, anybody tuned into this broadcast right now. Rosa, I want you to focus in on this intention. Speak it with your heart. Speak it with your mind. Speak it with your words. Take a few more breaths here, Rosa, and for everybody else, just hold that intention too. And Rosa, when you are ready, type now into the chat. And give me one more second here as I just charge the deck up a little bit. And so, as we continue to breathe within this moment, let us continue to see the path in which we can truly own it. Each one of us awakening into the guardians that we are, here to stand on this earth, here to send our message true and far. And through the power of our heart and through the power of our art, we will change this world, and we will invite others to take part in this journey of awakening, in this story in which we can all be heroes standing together, you and me, as we continue to rise into our best, as we continue to do all that we can within this test. And as Rosa types now into the chat, we shall split the deck and see what message the universe has. So there's the split. There's the card, and we pull it down there. And let me just grab one of the Light Guardian crystals here to charge it up. Which one should I choose? I think I'll choose the blue one for now. All right. Ooh, this is a good one. All right. So for everybody here, thank you for being here. Thank you for adding your support. And thank you, Rosa, as well, for being the first person who we're doing the reading for. And again, if you're here, this message is for you. The first card that we have pulled for today is the card Justice, which is number 8. So super beautiful card there. Just holding it up for a second. I'm just going to open up the book here, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of an explanation of what's visually on the card. And then the way how I do this is that I literally like read from the book because there's valuable information in there. And then from there, I go deeper and I like add my own interpretation, kind of my own channeling, like what I feel wants to come through in this moment to be able to, again, help assist us on our journey of shifting consciousness as shifters. So again, for you being here, for you being a part of this broadcast, this is an invitation for you to be a part of like a bigger story that we are creating together. And you're already a part of that story. And a part of that story is, again, like this amazing team that we are creating of people who are passionate about helping change the world. So again, if you are here, this message is for you. Please continue to keep sharing this broadcast with your friends. Again, if this is your first time here, allow this to just be an introduction. You can check out my Patreon a little bit later. The next reading we'll do will be for the next Patreon supporter. Our objective is to get 2 Patreon signups as we go, and we'll talk more about the Patreon as we get through this first reading, but let's just focus on this one here. So the card Justice, just looking at the image here, and for those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube so you can see properly. All right, so the image of Justice, this is an incredibly detailed image, like super psychedelic. So what do we have here? Obviously we have the scales, which are a common symbol of justice, yet in this case we have this like very like etheric, higher dimensional being standing above, almost like a cityscape, and even like so big that the mountains are in front of them. And then there's like this huge like light kind of shining from their head. And yeah, just as like this incredibly like beautiful symbolism of the scale. There's actually a couple of eyes. They're hard to see, but they're like one there, one there. So there's like a giant face in the background. And again, you got these beautiful like pinks and blues. And down below, you kind of got like an entire like courtyard and a civilization. And yeah, just like these incredible images. And on one side of the scale, you have a sphere. And on the other side, you have a cube. And yeah, so super super beautiful image. And the image itself of the figure in the middle appears to be female, and again just with this very like soft face with their eyes closed. So again, that's just me explaining like literally what's on the image of the card. So for everybody here, just kind of listen. Rosa, you can just kind of like, if you want to close your eyes, that's totally cool. And again, let this be a message that is just like something that can add value to your perception and understanding of the world right now, to help assist you on your journey as a light worker, as a shifter. So thank you again everyone for being here. Thank you for adding your support. And yeah, let's get into this reading. Rosa, at any point, for anybody here, drop an 1111 in the chat if this reading resonates with you, and just feel free to like let us know that you're still here within the chat. So all right. So just kind of shifting right now. Number 8, Justice. The image. With its head in heaven and its feet on the ground, the figure of a mysterious being rules over earthly events. A scale hovers in front of the being as a symbol for natural balance. Meaning, with the image of justice, we step into the level of existence at the beginning of the major arcana's second sequence of 7. While Jupiter represents the principle of mercy before right, Saturn sticks with the principle of justice without mercy. On one side of the scale is the law of karma, the immovable law of cause and effect. On the other side of the scale is the law of love, the gentle law of trust and forgiveness. In Buddhist realms, the law of karma is presented in a very transparent manner. Bound in the play of nature's powers is the world of duality. Man who has recognized himself as a creature of polarity has the possibility of consciously influencing the world of opposites. I'm going to reread that part. Man who has recognized himself as a creature of polarity has the possibility of consciously influencing the world of opposites. Therefore, he not only has to accept responsibility for his own actions, but also for the world in which he moves. In the first stage of the level of creation, we learned, with the magician, as above, so below, and in this level of existence, we learn, as within, so without. For the image of justice, this means we will be judged in the same way that we judge. That's very powerful. I'll just read that. For the image of justice, this means we will be judged in the same way as we judge. Perceiving the law of karma on one side of the law of love, on the other side of the scale, results in the recognition of as within, so without. The way in which we perceive our physical body in the material world is also the way in which our soul perceives our ethereal body in the ethereal world. As a body, we are separate within the world of bodies. However, as a soul, we are connected to the life force of the divine, and therefore we are able to stretch our perceptions beyond the boundaries of our own being. Every pain and every joy of our being becomes our own pain or joy. Every pain and every joy of other beings becomes our own pain or joy. As a soul, we no longer act out of duty, but out of compassion. Reread that. As a soul, we no longer act out of duty, but out of compassion. Whether or not man follows the path of right action, he will reap the fruits of his deeds accordingly. Every action that is taken because of a sense of duty always has a motive. Love has no motives. Love is enough in itself. Ooh, I like that. I'm just gonna say that again. Love is enough in itself. If we act out of love, we will no longer need interminably long laws of book or the 10 Commandments, not even one commandment. In order to take the next step and to do justice to God, the world, and oneself, we are challenged to make our decisions from a higher level of consciousness. At the level of the magician, magic tools were given to us in the form of the sword, the cup, the sphere, and the flame as symbols of the four elements. At the present level, for us to continue on our way, it is necessary to have both sides of the scale as a symbol for a higher level of discrimination. Astrological significance: Saturn, Jupiter, Libra. Key words: discriminatory ability, sense of justice, forgiveness, release of feeling of guilt, restoring natural balance, mercy before right, acting out of compassion, sincerity. Traditional meaning: letting go of judgments, balance, virtues, weighing and balance, submitting to a higher order, equal rights. Okay, so again, for those of you who are new, what we do, like, yes, I literally just read from the book, but reading it with intention, reading it with a message that was delivered to your heart. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to practice kind of just like channeling a message in addition to what's been said, to kind of like add more details, to be able to add insight and inspiration to assist you on your journey. And a reminder that for everybody watching this, like, this is just practice for me too. So thank you for holding space, and thank you for just allowing us to be able to play in this place together. So this is a very powerful card, and I think again with this card it really hits upon some very important themes where, again, you know, that idea of like we will be judged based on how we judge, meaning what we reap is what we sow. How we treat others is what we will be, is how like the universe will give back to us in return. And so it's kind of this idea that with this card, again, for Rosa and for everybody listening to this card, let this be a valuable reminder of our very sacred connection to the world around us, and the value of being able to treat all beings with compassion, understanding that this is such a powerful idea. I really want to like hit upon this idea that love that we withhold from other beings is love that we are withholding from ourselves. Drop an 1111 if that resonates with you, because basically what that's saying is that in a lot of ways society has conditioned us into like sort of thinking that like, oh, okay, like that person treated me like shit, therefore they're an asshole, and therefore I can treat them like shit because they've treated me like shit. And then it just perpetuates this cycle, and and that's where, like, again, just like patterns continue and it gets passed on through generations. You can still be pissed off at someone and love them conditionally and unconditionally at the same time, because you have to be able to understand that like they themselves are going through their own process of judgment. They themselves are going through their own process of initiation, and maybe your process of initiation is to be able to put you in that position where the universe is inviting you through your free will to determine how you will judge others. And so again, like this could be a simple situation where, like, you know, like someone like cuts you off in traffic. And then in that situation, what do you choose? The universe is testing you in that moment. Do you allow yourself to just be like, fuck you, like, you mother, like, like, how dare you cut me off? You like did something that gives me permission to express my anger in an uncompassionate way. Or do you see that as a moment where you're just like, well, that was kind of stupid of that person, but I send them love. I send them love, because if I withhold love from them, I am withholding love from myself. And so let this be a card, Rosa, for anybody listening, to really practice meeting challenges with as much compassion as possible. Can you do that? And this is something where, again, I think as society, like, we're still trying to figure out how to do this, right? Like, you have like a situation where there's like, you know, someone has done something criminal, someone has done something where they've hurt someone else, and our immediate reaction is like, yes, accountability and punishment and retribution, and you lock them away, and that's it, and that's how we deal with it. And I'm not to say that like there isn't purpose to that. Absolutely, we want to hold people accountable when they do things that are interfering with others' free will and causing harm. That's very important. But at the same time, what would happen if we were to actually go through that shift of, again, being in that place of like the judge, the jury, where it's like you see the deeper levels of a person, You see the situation from a higher conscious perspective. And next time that bully shows up and bullies someone, instead of just being like, like, oh, that person is like, they don't deserve anything. They don't deserve any of our compassion. The stronger person will actually look at that person and see the wounds beneath them, and see like the suffering that they have gone through, see the trauma that they are that they are holding on to, see the love that they have been neglected. And that's where, again, I think like what we need to be the judge of like this reality around us and of our own actions, where we are not withholding compassion, but being able to serve compassion in ways that is helping nurture wounds and nurturing wounds within ourselves. Like, this is where you get into the power of forgiveness, ho'oponopono. It's this idea that like through the process of being able to like, say someone does something where they cross a boundary. Okay, that's not cool, but at the same time, that's also teaching you how to be able to like make sure that you're communicating your boundaries firmly. And then at the same time, to be able to make sure that you're communicating with them, hey, this wasn't okay. But at the same time, without always just like forgiving them right away, to still allow yourself to be able to see that they themselves are growing as a soul, and to hold compassion for that, to hold compassion for the fact that we as souls are going through this like chaotic spiral and this chaotic dance, and it can be easy to lose track of what we are and who we are and the dynamics of this reality and the karma behind it. And so for this, Rosa, and for anybody else, let this card be a very powerful invitation for you to practice holding compassion in perhaps ways that maybe you've been holding back on. Can you practice holding compassion for those who have wronged you in the past? And how would that feel? And that doesn't mean you just forgive and forget. But what you can do, and this is incredibly powerful. This might be like one of the most powerful things that you might hear today. And it's one of the things that like has been passed on to me. But basically, when someone does something to you, be it something that feels good or something that may feel not so good, approach that situation and say to yourself, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me allow to be able to practice spreading more compassion. Thank you for allowing me to be able to become more clear on my boundaries. Thank you for allowing me to be able to become more clear on the energies I do and don't want within my reality. Thank you for helping me become more capable of just like communicating clearly what I expect from certain situations. Thank you for helping me develop my resilience. Thank you for helping me show my strength through the challenges. Drop an 1111 if this makes sense for those of you in the chat. I think the chat may be glitching on the 1111 movement group. If it is glitching a bit, I just encourage you to watch over on YouTube where it won't be glitching. Sometimes it just glitches on YouTube, on Facebook, and I don't really have a way to control that. So if it is glitching, I'm just posting the link in there for the YouTube, because I'd love to be able to just, again, see your comments and your feedback on how this resonates with you as we continue to roll through this. But again, with this card, just hitting upon the keywords here. Keywords: forgiveness, release of feelings for guilt. And again, like that's a thing where how often do we withhold compassion from ourselves? That is a great place to be able to start. Like oftentimes there are going to be circumstances within our life where we're going to do something that we're going to look back at and we're going to be like, why the fuck did I do that? Like that wasn't very smart. That was kind of stupid. But it was still something that helped you. It helped you get more clear on who you are. Oh, what's that? I did something that felt weird and felt stupid. Well, that's definitely going to help me so long as I'm aware and paying attention to the lessons in not repeating that and making sure that I don't just continue the cycle. And part of that is by being able to forgive yourself, but also hold yourself accountable at the same place. So again, with this card, this is a very, very powerful card that has a lot to do with both compassion, forgiveness, and accountability, where we're holding each other up to our highest growth. And when you think about it, you know, like the judge, the jury, the justice, like it's not literally just there to punish people. It's there to be able to help assist people in like reshaping who they are so that they can be a beneficial member of society. Like that is what I feel, again, is like the definition of what justice should be, where it's holding people accountable for things that they have done that have gone against expectations, but then assisting them in learning from that. And so do not neglect yourself. Do not neglect yourself the opportunity to learn from the challenging experiences simply by just like flooding it with like anger and anger and anger and anger and anger. Not to say that there isn't a place for anger. Sacred anger is actually very, very important. Sacred anger is something incredible because it allows us to be able to like bring forth a very powerful presence of love. Sacred anger is like something where it's like, yo, like this isn't cool because I know what I value. So when next time you get angry at something, allow yourself to actually see the layers of love within your anger, but then to be able to kind of like shift out of just the action of anger into a motivation of compassion and love. Again, you know, it's like damn it, man, like that bully picked on my friend. I'm pretty angry about that because I care about my friend and that's not cool. And I'm like gonna be rightfully pissed at this. The same time, what do we need to do in order to be able to make sure that the bully doesn't just repeat those patterns? Maybe it means like having like a gentle talk with the bully. Maybe it means like, you know, like having like a professional psychiatrist be able to sit down to them and be like, hey, like tell me about all the people within your life who have neglected love from you, because it feels like that's what you're actually looking for right now and you're just having a trouble communicating it. And then your anger is actually like the bully's anger is actually the bully being angry about the fact that they've been neglected love. And so if you give the bully that love while still holding them accountable, that's where the healing takes place. That's deep and that's incredibly powerful. And again, that's where the balance, that is where the balance occurs. If we just keep kind of like pushing people into the dirt with anger and punishing them and not actually listening to the needs of their soul, then we're just going to repeat the patterns. And so you have to be the justice within your individual life. You have to be the one that pays attention to the world around you and how you relate to it. You, again, have to be able to act out of compassion, sincerity, and through that, that is how we restore harmony. This world is constantly striving for harmony, and it is striving for harmony through your actions. And when you're in a place of kind of your own alignment, you will feel those actions coming through you. You will feel those actions in which, like, again, you'll know how to bring the harmony back over time if you can just kind of like move past the impulses or the ego or somebody else's ego kind of imprinting on you. We're here to help people. We are good people. There's goodness within all people. We are just very, very wounded. We are very, very sad and tired and neglected and depressed and exhausted. And what we need is compassion. What we need is community. What we need is someone to see us. And so be the eyes of justice. Be the eyes of sincerity. Be the eyes of compassion that will see those who have been neglected love. And allow yourself to be strong in showing them compassion in a way that feels right with you. I'm not literally saying go out and befriend every single bully. Pay attention to what serves you. I'm not telling you to just kind of like go out there and exhaust your energies, but relative to your own circumstance, pay attention and allow yourself to be invited to drop deeper into that place of divine sincerity, understanding that love that you withhold from others is love that you withhold from yourself. And so in understanding that each of us is an extension of divine, of sacred, of soul, that it's you. And when you hurt someone else, you are hurting yourself. When you love someone else, you are loving yourself. So again, I think this is a really cool card. And again, Rosa, if you're still here in the chat, again, I can see the chat's kind of glitching out on the 1111 movement group. I apologize for that. I can't really control that. If it is glitching out where it says like the video skipped ahead, make sure that you watch on the YouTube. But Rosa, if you're still there, I'm not 100% sure if you are, if anybody's still there, go ahead and leave an 1111 in the comment with how this resonates for you. Anybody on any network, go ahead and leave an 1111 in the comment with how this resonates with you. But again, this is a very, very, very simple yet powerful message reminding us that we must be responsible carriers of justice. When we see something that we don't agree with, stand up for it. Be a guardian for what it is that you stand for. So that guardian energy is like, what do I stand for? I stand for equal rights. I stand for compassion. I stand for sincerity. I stand for not being an asshole to the bully who's being an asshole. But at the same time, I'm not afraid to use my sacred anger. I'm not afraid to fucking show up with fire when need be. But when the dust settles, I'm going to give that bully a hug, because I know that's what they need. So you have to hold that higher conscious understanding of what is needed within these circumstances, and trust that you know within your heart, and your heart is constantly working towards building that harmony, creating that harmony through your actions. So again, traditional meaning as we get ready to wrap this up: letting go of judgments, balance, virtue. What virtues do you carry within yourself? Very, very important to be able to reflect on. And again, weighing of balance, submitting to a higher order, equal rights, acting out of compassion, sincerity, sense of justness, release of feelings of guilt, restoring natural balance. So let the harmony of the universe be brought forth through your actions. And maybe that means being able to stop being a bully to yourself, if you are, and to forgive yourself for doing so, and to treat yourself with compassion. Go get some exercise, go get some good food, get a good sleep, do some meditation, hang out with friends who appreciate your value. Give yourself that space where you can cultivate that compassion, you fill your cup, and then it overflows. That is like an incredible way to be able to help change the world. So it begins from within. As within, so without. So the way that you are your own judge will be the way in which you judge others. So pay attention to how you're judging yourself. And through judging others, it will allow you to bring more compassion in towards your own perception of yourself. We're not perfect, and we're not here to be perfect, yet in our imperfection, we are perfect, because that is where the learning takes place. And again, we're all here to be able to like help the light shine through the cracks. All of those little sayings, you know, like that is a part of the journey, and we're here to build like strength and resilience and deeper understanding of how to be able to heal and being able to like really dive deep with compassion. So justice, Rosa, message for you and for everybody else who is tuned into this broadcast right now. Drop an 1111 in the chat if this resonates for you. And again, let this be a call to action for us to be able to be ones who carry justice with us. Ones who, when we see something that doesn't feel right in our heart, let us go out of our way to be able to help create harmony in the situation to the best of our ability, in a way that works well with the situation, and by making sure that we're taking care of ourselves at the same time. Rosa saying, thank you so much for my reading, love and light. Thank you, Rosa. Thank you for your feedback. So again, for anybody else who would like to be able to leave some comments in the chat related to this reading, please feel free to do that, and I'll be able to read those comments on chat. Harley, thank you for leaving a comment in the chat. Just going to read that off the Instagram feed. Harley says, thank you for helping me. Amazing. I had a fight with a boy in 6th grade who bullied my best friend. Having that message was healing. Thank you. Oh, Harley, that's beautiful to hear. And again, like that's the thing, like seriously, it doesn't even need to be like new situations. Like your ability to send compassion is like non-linear. You can send compassion into your past. And literally, I encourage you to do this right now. For everybody here, before we get into our next reading, once we have our new Patreon sign up and ready to go, I want you to think of someone who wronged you in the past. And I want you, even it could be a couple people that have challenged you, circumstances that have pushed your buttons even. And I want you to right now, whether or not you fully believe this, but I want you to just practice saying it. I want you to say, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me. And you'll know what that means to you. But I want you to just practice saying that and notice the little bit of a shift begin to cultivate, begin to spin within yourself, and go back to that idea if you feel called. That person who cut you off in traffic, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me practice patience. Thank you for helping me send compassion. Thank you for helping me observe the reactions within myself and become more aware. Thank you for helping me master my mind. All of these things. So awesome. All right, so again, any other comments, please feel free to leave those in the chat and I'll read those on screen. For those of you on Instagram, if you click the link in my bio, you can watch on YouTube. And so as it is right now, again, for those of you who are tuned in, we've got like 500 people tuned in right now, give or take. And so again, if this was your first time meeting me, allow that to just be an introduction to who I am, to what we can create together. And I want to be able to invite you, you are invited to be able to connect further, to be able to support not only what I'm doing, but to support the community that we are building through the Paradigm Shift Central project, and to be able to have the option of even working alongside with me. I do like one-on-one soul coaching, which is available for people who support through my Patreon at the higher tier levels. But in addition to that, you can also have access to me as a conscious media creation coach through my Patreon, even when you sign up at the $11 level, which is incredibly affordable. So what I do is I provide like high value coaching as a conscious media creation coach, because I want to be able to support fellow conscious creators. And that is made possible because of the collective support in our community, because of people who are supporting at a variety of contribution levels on the Patreon. So at this point, what we're going to do, we're going to just hang tight for a little bit, and then we're going to do our next reading as soon as we have somebody else signed up for the Patreon, which only takes about 3 minutes to sign up. And again, that's at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. You can see the link for that on screen there. And again, if you sign up at the $5 level, that will get you a reading, but it's invited for you to sign up at the higher levels. The $11 level is when you can join as a leading member within the Paradigm Shift Central community, which gives you tons of value, access to me as a conscious media creation coach, the option to be able to be involved with our regular team broadcasts. We have a team broadcast this Wednesday, which is our dream class broadcast that you can join on air for, where we practice talking about dreams and dream theories and dream practices and dream stories and all sorts of cool metaphysical stuff. So that's this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and leading members can join in to be a part of that. Again, this is something where I want, literally just in me doing this, I want you to be able to experience like me just bringing like my excitement and my own like authentic energy, and to be able to inspire your own authentic expression as well. And again, just to be able to invite you to like say, fuck yes, like I see what this guy's doing. This is awesome. There's a lot of value here for the community, and I want to be able to like add my energetic signature to be able to say like, fuck yes, let's get more of this. Let's get more of this for the team. Let's do more of this. Let's provide more free tarot readings. Let's provide tarot readings for the community. And again, even the option for you to be able to say like, fuck yes, I want to be able to like work with this person one-on-one. And that's like part of what I do, is that again, through signing up for the Patreon, we have the higher options. There's like a $100 option a month. There's like a $300, and there's a $1,000 option a month. And again, I'm not trying to scare you away with the numbers, but again, like with those investments, it's also you being able to invest in having me in your corner, to be able to support you in like staying focused and motivated, to help you through like even like the challenging times, to be able to check in, to develop like a relationship that's just allowing you to like build that momentum and create that consistency and develop that accountability. That's like incredibly valuable for just being able to like step into that next chapter of your life, knowing that you have that support in your corner. So again, when you sign up onto the Patreon, we're just hanging tight. As soon as we have that new Patreon sign up, we will get right into our next reading. And again, our objective is to be able to get 2 Patreon signups during this broadcast, and I have about 1 more hour on air that will be here today. So again, for those of you who are in a position to do so, and even if you're not like, hey, that's the thing, your support in all forms is equally appreciated. So if you're just like, hey, I'd love to support, but maybe I'm not ready to sign up for the Patreon, even feel free to just check out the Patreon, because through there you'll find the links to my YouTube, my Instagram, and also our team chat within the Paradigm Shift Central community. And again, the Paradigm Shift Central community, it's a global team of people who are working together to be able to help us shift consciousness, like boots on the ground, creating art, building community events. We've been doing this for like 10 years. So this is a big part of my devotion. This is a part of my calling. So if anybody has any questions about that, please feel free to ask. And you don't need like to create a Patreon to sign up for the Patreon. Like, I'm just reading Daisy's comment. Daisy says, I don't have Patreon, but I would love a reading. You can sign up onto the Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes, and you can literally like sign up with like a Facebook account. Like, you don't even need to like create a Patreon, so to speak. You can still like sign up. All you need is like, you can use a credit card, you can use PayPal, and you can use like Facebook to be able to sign in. And it only takes about 3 minutes to sign in. So once we have that next Patreon person signed up and ready to go, we will do our next reading. And thank you again, everyone, for just holding space and for being here. And for those of you on the 1111 movement group, if the video is skipping, which I think it is, like, I think there's probably like, there's like, again, like 60 people tuned in. But if the video is skipping, make sure you go to my YouTube channel up in the top corner. For those of you on Instagram, if you click the link in my bio, you can tune in through YouTube. And again, Rosa, for anybody else here, for the first reading I did, if you would like a picture of the card and a picture of the write-up, please feel free to let me know, and I can send that to you through a direct message as well. So for everybody here, go ahead and just drop a comment. Let me know that you're still here. Drop those 1111s. And again, your engagement in all forms is super, super appreciated. And yeah, through the Patreon, you can check out, again, like the variety of videos that I do. Again, I've made like full-length consciousness shifting movies, like some really cool movies of like going to like festivals in California, and they're called Journey to Lucidity, and they're like really inspirational. Done a lot of guided meditations, some like really, really cool guided meditations, like ones that are like really like way different from most meditations. They're very story oriented. Again, done a lot of team broadcasts, the dream class, our synergy circles. Again, done a lot of like one-on-one coaching with people as a conscious media creation coach, and also again as like a soul coach. So there's a lot of experience and expertise that I have that, again, my devotion is in being able to show up and share that with the community. So again, when you sign up for the Patreon, I want you to sign up with the intention to be able to say like, fuck yes, this is something that I want to be a part of. Even if this may be like your first time discovering it. And even if you're thinking about it, go ahead and check it out later. You can sign up at any point, and you can also sign up later to be able to get a private reading as well. That is an additional option if you prefer that, and that's when we can go a little bit deeper. And again, when you sign up, like, it's not, I don't want you to sign up just for the tarot reading. I want you to be able to sign up because I want you to be able to be like, yo, like, I want to be a part of this story. I want to be a part of this community. I want to be able to like have like more of this energy in my day-to-day reality. And that's what, again, I'm like here to be able to offer and add. So just give me a second here. I just gotta get a sip of tea, and again, we'll stand by for the next Patreon sign up, and as soon as we have that ready to go, then we will commence our next reading. And again, for those of you in the chat, go ahead and just leave a comment. Let me know that you're tuned in. Let me know if that first reading was something that you resonated with. And yeah, and again, we'll get right into the next reading as soon as we are ready. So for those of you who are tuned in on Instagram, again, if you click the link in my bio, you can join in on YouTube. And when you join in on YouTube, you can find the link for the Patreon in the information for the video. So it's very, very straightforward. And if you do have any other questions, please feel free to let me know. And Harley, thank you for joining in. Again, Harley, if you have any questions about the Patreon, please feel free to let me know as well. All right. And Rosa, if you're still there, please feel free to, again, if you want to send me a direct message, you're more than welcome to, and I can send you the image for the reading that we did for that first card. And again, like that first reading, choosing someone out of the chat, like that's an awesome chance for me to just be able to like introduce myself, for people to be able to like get to know a little bit more about who I am and what I do. And again, to be able to invite people to be a part of what it is that we are creating here together as a community. So a lot of awesome stuff happening within the Paradigm Shift community. It's constantly evolving, and we got like a lot of like really amazing creators who are a part of the community. Aloha Marth, thanks for joining in. Aloha to those of you who may be tuned in on Twitch as well. And again, for those of you who are here in the chat, go ahead and just leave some comments in the chat. Let me know that you're here and your engagement is super appreciated. Phyllis, thank you for your comments as well in the chat. Matt, if you're still here, thank you so much for joining in. And thank you as well for those of you tuning in on Facebook and on Instagram and on YouTube and wherever you happen to be tuned in right now. So again, we'll do the next Patreon reading as soon as we have our next person signed up for the Patreon. And again, we'll do as many readings as we can. I have about probably about one more hour. And again, we're just kind of hanging out here until we get that next Patreon supporter signed up. And we currently have, again, I think there's probably close to 60 people tuned in right now. So you can see the link for my Patreon on the screen there. And again, when you sign up onto the Patreon, you're not just getting a reading. There's a lot of value there. Again, you're also getting the super beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals. And I'll show you, again, this is, well, here's an orange one. And here is one that is currently within the color changing mode, which is super, super cool. So again, Mr. Ostum, if you're looking for a reading, again, they are available for people as they are signing up for the Patreon. We do just general readings for the chat, at the beginning of the broadcast. But yes, if you'd like to be able to support on the Patreon, that is how we do the next reading. And again, that's not just for the reading. Again, that's an invitation to be able to be a part of the community and what it is that we are creating together. So you can see here, these super, super dope Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals that we have. And again, when you sign up at the $11 level or higher, then you can get one of the Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals as well as a gift for signing up. So again, team, I'm ready to do that next reading as soon as possible, and as soon as we have that next person ready to go after they have signed up for the Patreon. So for those of you, again, who may be new to this, feel free to check out my Patreon at any point. And for those of you who perhaps have even been following me for a while, allow this to be a great opportunity, again, to be able to be yo, fuck yes, I am ready to sign up for the Patreon. Again, I'm doing this to be able to add my support, to invest in myself, to be a part of the community, to be able to be a part of the value that we have to share. So again, let's get right into that next reading as soon as possible, as soon as we have the next person signed up for the Patreon. And stand by, and we'll do that in as soon as we are ready. So two seconds here, team. All right. All right. Aloha to those of you who may be joining in. Again, for those of you who are just joining in, we did just do a reading at the start of the broadcast. And again, the next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. Although we'll play it by ear. Again, it depends on the time of day. It depends on just kind of who's tuned in right now. And so if there's no new Patreon signed up in the next little bit, that's totally cool. And what we will do is, again, just kind of wrap this broadcast up, and then I'll be back here a little bit later tonight. And again, it will be additional people will get a chance to be able to tune in later tonight as well for that reading. So again, I'll post a link for the Patreon down in the chat. I got a feeling again, I think the chat is kind of glitched out and stuff like that. So for those of you in the 1111 movement group, I can't actually see your comments in the chat. So what I may actually do is just kind of refresh the 1111 movement watch party, and that will give me a better idea of how many people are tuned in. And depending on how many people are tuned in, we'll decide again if we're ready to do a next reading, and I will let you know.  All right. Hey, Madeline, thanks for joining in. Madeline, we're just hanging out right now. We're just seeing if there's another new Patreon person who is ready to sign up. And otherwise, we may be just taking a break for a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll do another broadcast later, which is totally cool. But again, even if there's any other Patreon supporters who already signed up who would like to be able to increase their Patreon pledge, that is also an option as well. So stand by. And yeah, I'm just going to, again, like, I feel like the numbers of people tuned in right now is a little bit glitched out. So I'm not seeing any comments within the 1111 movement group as it is right now. And so I'm just going to end that watch party, and then based on that, I'll be able to tell how many people are tuned in right now. If you are tuned in on this on the 1111 movement group, go ahead and click my bio link, or like click my profile to be able to watch the feed from my profile. And again, we'll get into another reading as soon as we are ready. And stand by. I'm just going to end the watch party in the 1111 movement group, and that will just give me a better idea of how many people are tuned in right now. And again, if you check out the Patreon link, you can see the link for that down on the screen right there, patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. And again, you can check that out at any point to be able to add your support there as well. So again, I'm just going to end the watch party on the 1111 movement group. I apologize for those of you who are watching it through right now, but again, I don't know exactly if like the chat is like fully functioning or not, so this will just be able to help clarify that. So ending the watch party in the 1111 movement group. So for those of you looking to either jump over to the YouTube or my personal profile, please do that now. All right, ending that, and let's do that now. Okay, now I'm just gonna wait for the numbers to refresh. All right, for those of you who are tuned in right now, if you are tuned in, it's possible you're commenting in a place where I simply cannot see it. So if that's the case, please feel free to go to my personal profile and to comment on the video there if you are interested in a reading and are interested in being able to sign up for the Patreon. And we will do that in the next little bit as soon as we have somebody else signed up and ready to go. And yeah, and otherwise, like, which is totally cool, we'll probably just check in and we'll see. And otherwise, I'm okay with, again, just taking a break, and I'll go get my lunch and we'll be back a little bit later tonight. I'm going to be doing some broadcasts a little bit later tonight. So for those of you who are tuned in right now, just let me know. Just let me know if you're tuned in. And again, just sending you lots of just like thanks and gratitude for being here and for adding your support in all forms. So yeah, and again, like, that's the thing, every time that we do it, like, it's gonna be like different times of the day, different people tuned in. So sometimes when we do it later in the night, there's like more people kind of like tuned in and ready as well. So okay. All right, so for anybody tuned in, go ahead and let me know if you're interested and ready to sign up for the Patreon in the next little bits. And we'll decide, again, if the broadcast is going to get wrapped up in the next little bit, which is totally cool. So... Okie dokie. All right. Aloha, Jennifer. So Jennifer, did you have you tuned into the broadcast before, or did you just tune in now? Otherwise, I'll just I'm just asking just to confirm whether or not you're familiar with the process on how we do things here with, again, people signing up for the Patreon, or if you need me to just be able to reiterate that. So if you're literally just here for the first time, please feel free to go ahead and just let me know. And again, the way how we do it here, the Patreon, when people sign up for the Patreon, that is again like how we do the next readings on air. But again, when you're signing up on the Patreon, it's not just about the readings. It's again about being able to additionally like support the value of what it is that we are creating here together as a community. Okie dokie. Cool. So Jennifer, the way how we do this, again, I think there's not too many people tuned in right now, which is totally cool. If you're interested, feel free to check out my Patreon, and I'll post the link for that into the chat. And we did just do a reading before you got here, and the way how we do it is that we do a reading for people like within the collective, within like the entire chat community. And then when we do these broadcasts, it's to be able to like invite people to support on the Patreon, and Patreon is a way where people can support with additional monthly contributions to be able to get like the value that we provide through my Patreon, which includes like, again, being a private member within the Paradigm Shift Central community, which is like our team of conscious media creators, and again, just people who are helping shift consciousness. So that's a part of it. And then there's also the option for people to be able to have access to me as a private conscious media creation coach, which is like super valuable. When you sign up onto the Patreon, you can also get one of the very beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals that I hand make for people. And again, you can also have other options where you can sign up at higher levels, which is also being able to have access to me for private soul coaching as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. So I know you literally just signed up, but Jennifer, please feel free to go ahead and check out the Patreon just to be able to decide if it is something that you might be interested in supporting and being involved with. And yeah, and so when we do these broadcasts, it's like, again, it's like us like doing readings for the community, but also inviting people to be a part of what it is that we are creating here together, and inviting them to be a part of like the private community within the bigger community as well. So super cool stuff. So if you have any questions about it, please feel free to let me know. I think there's literally just a few people tuned in right now. Again, it depends on like the time of day and everything like that. So we're gonna, if you're interested in signing up for the Patreon, you can let me know, and that can also be done as a private reading as well. And when we do it as like a reading on air, it's also like a collective reading for the entire community, which is really cool. So if you do have any other questions about that, Jennifer, you're welcome to be able to send me a direct message separately. And if you are interested in signing up now, feel free to let me know. But again, no rush on that. I would encourage you to just kind of like check it out on your own time. So yeah, so we're gonna wrap up the broadcast in the next little bit, which is totally cool, and I appreciate everybody tuning in and for being here and for hanging out. And I'll be back later tonight. I'll be doing a broadcast later tonight before I head to hockey later tonight. So again, if for those of you on YouTube, please feel free to go ahead and just like let me know if you're tuned into this. And again, like for those of you who may be brand new, we did just do a reading earlier in the broadcast, and then we do additional readings as people are signed up for the Patreon to be able to help like build the support for the community project that we are creating here. And yeah, and just to be able to invite people to be a part of the value that we're offering as well. So Okay, cool. Jennifer, if you're ready to sign up on the spot. So, Jennifer, I would just confirm though, like again, like when people are signing up for the Patreon, I don't want them to sign up just because they want a reading. I want people to be able to sign up because I want them to be able to say like, yes, this is something that I want to be able to support and something that I want to be involved with. So, again, signing up for the Patreon is like inviting people to sign up with the intention that it's something that they'll like continue contributing to, and then again like to be a part of the community and to be able to like receive the additional value for that. So Jennifer, I'd encourage like even before signing up to just kind of like take your time to even just like check out some of the other videos that I do. Again, if you feel after you've checked that out that you're just like, yo, like I really like what this guy's doing, I really see the value that it has for the community, and I want to be able to like have more of this in my reality and like work amongst the team, again, let me know because we can always do a private reading as well. So I am available right now, but at the same time, I would just want to make sure that like you're not rushing into it. And again, you're just like signing up again with the intentions that we're inviting people to sign up with. So Jennifer, if you heard what I just said there, go ahead and just drop an 1111 in the chat just to be able to confirm. Because I'm not 100% sure, you might have been like in the other chat window. So okay, all right, Jennifer's saying they're going on to YouTube, so you're gonna watch on YouTube. Yeah, because what I may end up doing, I may end up just finishing off this broadcast in the next little bit, but then Jennifer, if you want to do like a private reading after signing up, that's an option for you. But yeah, again, no worries either way, like whatever works for you is totally cool. And again, your support is appreciated in all forms. All right, so with that said, I think we're gonna wrap up this broadcast, but we'll be back a little bit later tonight. I'll probably be live around like 7 p.m. tonight. Again, I'll have a couple hours before I have to head off to hockey tonight. So that will be another opportunity again for just people to be able to be a part of the experience that we're creating together, for them to be able to like receive like additional insight and inspiration that we're bringing forth through the cards. So yeah, thank you again everyone for joining in and for being here. And again, be sure to connect to my social media at Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram, Skull Babylon on YouTube, and again, check out the Patreon when you can, and through there you can find the links to our team chat and to more of the Paradigm Shift Central project as well. So with that said, thank you again so much everyone for joining in, and yeah, wishing everyone, thank you Jennifer, wishing you a great day as well, and yeah, hope to see some of you around later tonight for our next broadcast that we'll be doing. So much love, and until then, I will see you in the future. Thank you again everyone.